You've probably heard this your entire life. Exercise is the secret to a long life. Move more, live longer. Sounds obvious. But the truth is a little uncomfortable. Many professional athletes don't actually live longer than ordinary people. In fact, many of them die younger. Marathon champions, football stars, boxers, soccer players. These people represent the absolute peak of human fitness. Yet real-world data shows something surprising. The people who exercise the most are not always the ones who live the longest. So the question becomes unavoidable. If exercise is really a longevity drug, why do the people who push their bodies the hardest often leave the world earlier? Today's video isn't about motivation. And it's not about walking 10,000 steps a day. Instead, we're answering a much deeper question. Is the exercise you do every day extending your life, or quietly draining it? Before we go further, we need to fix a mistake almost everyone makes. When people say exercise, they treat it like one single thing. But biologically speaking, there are actually two completely different kinds. Healthy exercise and extreme exercise. The difference isn't just intensity. Their effects on your body are almost opposite. One strengthens and repairs the body. The other slowly wears it down. And most professional athletes spend their entire careers living in the second category. Let's ignore opinions for a moment and just look at the data. Decades of long-term studies point to an uncomfortable conclusion. Many elite athletes don't gain a safer old age. Take professional football players. After retirement, their risk of cardiovascular disease rises sharply. Their chances of developing neurodegenerative disorders are also significantly higher. This isn't just bad luck, it's a pattern. Now look at sports like boxing and mixed martial arts. At their peak, these athletes look unstoppable. But statistically, their average lifespan is 5 to 10 years shorter than ordinary men. Even more surprising are athletes we often see as the symbol of health: ultramarathon runners, Ironman competitors, extreme endurance athletes. Their diets are clean. Their discipline is almost superhuman. But research shows their hearts are more likely to develop fibrosis. Their risk of dangerous heart rhythm disorders is higher. The problem isn't weakness. The problem is overuse. Think of the human body like a highly advanced machine. Yes, it can grow stronger through training. And yes, good care can extend its lifespan. But there's one condition. You cannot run it at maximum capacity forever. If an engine runs at redline every day, even with perfect maintenance, its parts will wear out faster. That's essentially how professional athletes use their bodies. They're not just exercising, they're trading long-term durability for short-term performance. And the scary part is this. Many ordinary people are now copying the same pattern. Most people believe exercise is the process of getting stronger. But biologically, exercise is actually controlled damage. When you start training, your body isn't building itself up, it's breaking down. Muscle fibers tear out joints, experience microscopic wear. Your heart is forced to pump at extreme intensity. And after intense exercise, your immune system becomes temporarily weaker. At that moment, your body is actually less resilient than before you started. So how do we become stronger? The answer is surprisingly simple. Recovery. Training doesn't make you stronger. Recovery does. Real progress happens after you stop. During sleep, during nutrition, during the time when the body repairs itself. If recovery is complete, you come back stronger. If recovery is incomplete, you're just accumulating damage. And this is where many athletes get stuck. Their training stacks on top of existing fatigue. Before the body fully repairs itself, the next round of damage begins. When damage consistently exceeds repair, the body enters a dangerous state, accelerated aging. You might not feel it, but at the cellular level, it has already started. Now, we need to talk about something critical for longevity: chronic inflammation. Inflammation sounds like a bad thing, but biologically, it's actually a repair signal. When your body is injured or stressed, inflammation activates healing. It removes damaged tissue, recruits immune cells, and rebuilds structure. The real problem isn't inflammation. The problem is when it never fully turns off. High-intensity training pushes the body into a repeated cycle: injury, repair, injury again. If recovery is insufficient, inflammation never completely disappears. Instead, it lingers in the background. The body enters a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. You can't feel it, but over time, it roughens your blood vessels, accelerates atherosclerosis, weakens the immune system, and in some cases, it can even increase the risk of cancer. Many retired athletes don't suddenly get sick. They're simply diagnosed one day with heart disease, neurological disorders, or cancer. But the cause may have been building for decades. You've probably heard people say, athletes have stronger hearts. That's only half true. Yes, endurance training can enlarge the heart and increase its pumping capacity. But the heart was never designed to work under extreme load for decades. Over time, repeated stress and repair can cause scarring in heart tissue. And that can disrupt the heart's delicate electrical system. The result? A much higher risk of arrhythmia. Which explains something doctors see surprisingly often. Many marathon runners and Ironman athletes didn't struggle with obesity later in life. Instead, their biggest risk becomes sudden cardiac arrest. And there's another hidden cost, one people rarely talk about: damage to the nervous system. Years of high-pressure competition keep the body's stress system constantly switched on. In the short term, this boosts focus, reaction speed, and explosive power. But the nervous system was never meant to stay in emergency mode forever. Over time, sleep quality drops. Deep sleep disappears. The brain loses its ability to reset itself. Emotional control weakens. Small triggers cause huge reactions. You might notice something about many retired athletes. Their bodies didn't collapse. Their personalities changed. They become irritable, anxious, emotionally numb. And this helps explain a difficult reality. Retired athletes show higher rates of depression, addiction, and suicide, not because they're weak, but because their brains were pushed to the limit for years without ever truly resting. The body leaves the arena, but the brain never does. At this point, you might be thinking, so, should I stop exercising? No! This is the most important line in the entire video. Exercise is not the problem. The problem is exercising like a professional athlete. Those are two completely different things. Athletes train for performance and victory, but ordinary people should train for something else entirely. A body that can safely last 80 or 90 years. Real longevity exercise has 4 simple characteristics. First, moderate intensity. You can still talk while doing it. Second, sustainability. Not 1 month, but 20 years. Third, recoverability. After exercise, you feel refreshed, not destroyed. Fourth, no obsession with limits. Not can I push harder today, but what does my body need today? Exercise isn't about becoming stronger. It's about living longer. You're not training a champion's body. You're maintaining a machine that needs to last 8 decades. And that machine doesn't need to run at maximum speed every day. It just needs regular use, proper recovery, and respect for its limits. If exercise were medicine, the real question wouldn't be whether to take it. The real question would be the dosage, because too much turns medicine into poison. In the next video, I'll show you something important. How to tell whether your current exercise routine is extending your life or quietly draining it. And the answer might completely change the way you think about health.